7:15 on this Monday. You're watching Extra Shot. It's just me and Dina today.
It
Cornelia's
is
still on vacation. What do you think she's doing right now?
Well, she's in a place that is beachy, so I hope that she is enjoying herself.
Yes.
I think that she's probably relaxing. She said she was really excited to just have some time to de-stress and unwind.
Yes,
so
I saw some of her Instagram posts yesterday, and she's out there enjoying. There was a foam party.
There's a foam party.
She's where we would all like to be, including all of you at home.
You know what I did today?
What did you do?
Put my shirt on backwards because it was a Monday.
Because it's a Monday.
Yeah,
and
that's how my Monday started.
Oh, you turned it around.
I fixed it.
Good for you.
Not till I was already on air for about a half hour, though.
You know what I did today?
What's that?
Forgot my lunch.
You did.
So my husband Caesar had to come before work and drop it off. And your husband made your lunch.
Yeah, we were just really bad today.
Yes.
It's Monday.
Again, we're just trying to be relatable, right? With all of you at home. And look, I didn't even put on my heels. I have tennis shoes on today for everyone
look cute with your tennies.
who's going to ask. Yes, the tennis shoes are on. I'm also trying to FaceTime an expert of ours right now.
Yes.
All in regards to
logging in to talk about this next story.
Yes,
because
everything is reality TV.
Everything's kind of just lagging today, you know? Okay, so we are going to start with the Bachelor in Paradise news.
Okay.
You have likely heard by now, if not, welcome to the party. Bachelor in Paradise has been suspended. The filming has been suspended.
Right.
So they're in the process right now of filming. They're in
Sayulita, Mexico, where I vacationed recently. Such a good spot for not only vacation, but a show.
For a show.
Beside the point.
So obviously, Bachelor in Paradise, if you're not familiar with it, this is kind of a spin-off of the Bachelor and Bachelorette franchise. Right. All of the women and men who don't make it far in those shows come back to Paradise, where they hope to find love and they get a second chance at this. Some people have been back several times, so it hasn't always worked for some, but we also have the Jade and Tanners who went on to get married and have a baby because of Bachelor in Paradise. Right. So what ended up happening is Corinne Olympios, who is one of the big controversial players from Nick Viall's season, and Demario Jackson, the person who allegedly had a girlfriend during this most recent season with Lindsay. They were both in Paradise together and something sexually happened. Whether it was kissing going too far, we're still kind of seeing a lot of different theories about what exactly happened, but regardless, the two of them are involved in these allegations of misconduct. And Bachelor in Paradise has told ABC News and other reporters and media outlets that whatever happened between these two led for a producer to feel uncomfortable. I read a story in TMZ specifically where that producer did not show up to work the next day because they felt so uncomfortable about what happened between the two. You're looking at Corinne now on her Instagram page. This was actually posted about 3 days ago. So this all happened within the last 48 hours. And essentially what ended up happening, Megan, is they had to suspend the entire filming production schedule because of these allegations. So initially, Corinne and Demario were kicked off. Shortly after, they told the entire cast and crew, you know what, we're suspending production. There are other photos of them circulating this morning from people seeing them at an airport in Puerto Vallarta. They're all headed to Houston, the whole cast.
And they seemed, in this photo that was posted, like you said, not too long ago, they seem fine. They seem happy. I mean, there's smiles on their faces. I can't imagine that. This is them. Okay, this is them right there. So this is, from my understanding, after they found out that there was going to be no more summer season. And this entire cast just announced a few days ago. So this whole thing was new. Imagine you think you're going to go on this summer little hiatus tour, hook up for the whole summer. Really. Or for the however many episodes they're shooting, just to find out that allegations of misconduct caused this show to not just be suspended for a couple of episodes. We're talking terminated indefinitely for the season. Doesn't mean that Bachelor in Paradise isn't terminated indefinitely in terms of show, right?
Not at this point. And I'm going to pull up the quote from ABC here because it sounds like, or at least the Bachelor in Paradise group that runs this show is Warner Brothers Studios. And they have gone on the record to say, we have suspended production. We are conducting a thorough investigation of the allegations. And they said, once the investigation is complete, we will take appropriate, responsive action. So what they are claiming happened is that there was some sort of misconduct, and that's as much as they will say. But Demario has gone on to tell other people, who then told reporters, him and Corinne were fooling around. They drank a lot. They got in a pool. They did some things. Producer felt uncomfortable.
And that's according to Demario.
That's according to Demario.
Corinne's side of the story and the producer's side of the story, because you set that story up, and I go, okay, well, what did the producer expect when he or she signed on for the gig? You're going to get a bunch of adults. We're all adults here. All single. Bachelor in paradise, so you're single in paradise.
Right.
There are drinks flowing. You're saying there's even a bartender on the cast?
Yeah, there's a guy who they bring back every year as the bartender role, and he is part of the cast of characters.
What do you think is going to happen? Aren't you encouraging, as a show, you're encouraging stuff to happen sexually?
Right.
For there to be quote-unquote entertaining television, good television.
And when they're picking this cast, too, I mean,
Corinne, let's talk about her history.
Corinne. Yes, Corinne's history on Nick Viall's season, and those of you who are fans of The Bachelor and Bachelorette, you know, she was the risque character. She was the one who was always going a little bit too far, crossing the line according to the other women.
You'll see what we mean by that.
She's not the most conservative, I would say.
Yeah.
And Demario, according to him and to the people he spoke to who then talked to reporters, the producers told them, Demario and Corinne, we want to make a love story about the two of you.
Okay.
That's what he claimed to other people who then told reporters. So is it possible that a producing staff could have encouraged a couple of scenarios to happen?
Right. And I don't know. And this is why we're trying to get an expert on the phone right now.
Yeah.
It is early in the morning in Los Angeles. And so I'm not able to get through at this moment. But that was the big question, because this person I know has worked behind the scenes. A lot of people, you work behind the scenes in reality television. And how uncommon or how common is it for these producers this day and age, 2017, to have to force storylines for the sake of good television, for the sake of ratings, for then the sake of money?
Right.
And at that point, if you're then producing these storylines, like this one producer is saying, was it a producer that said that?
Demario said this to people who then told reporters.
Yeah. Okay, so Demario. If they're forcing storylines, then whose responsibility is it to draw that boundary line in the sand and say, okay, we can take it up to this point, but the minute we put one toe over that line, this is considered bad television. This is going to get us kicked off as a staff or as a cast member. This is going to get our show terminated. I don't think anyone's intention, maybe I'm wrong, was to get this show terminated. So I'm interested to know what Warner Brothers is going to come out and say. Yeah, you guys crossed the line. Sexual activity happened inside a pool when there was drinking involved. I can't imagine that was unexpected.
And the other thing to me, too, is, you know, not to play sides here, but we are always, as a viewer, going to know that if a television station, company, production crew, they are going to stop us from being able to see certain things. They will filter it by the time
that is their job.
By the time it gets to us and the television screen, they will make sure that we do not see things we're not supposed to see. The FCC would make sure that that doesn't happen. But in the Bachelor and Bachelorette franchises, they give people a key to the fantasy suite. And you assume what's going to happen inside of that fantasy suite is probably something like sex or something else. But the production staff doesn't show us that, but that doesn't mean that they're not exposed to things and that they potentially can't see these things happening or hear about certain stories. So thinking about it from a production standpoint and from the producers who have to sit back and watch all these storylines unfold, we don't see all the behind the scenes, but they do. So then when you're one of those people working behind the scenes on a show like this, at what point do you feel like, okay, now I'm contributing to something that maybe I didn't fully sign up for, or do you know ahead of time?
There had to be something pretty bad, and there has to be more to this story, because for a producer in reality television, in the reality world, unless he or she is brand new to the scene and didn't know what they were getting themselves into, but for them to walk away from the job, it had to be pretty involved. So we're going to wait and see what else comes of this. For them to, again, cancel Bachelor in Paradise for the summer season had to have been pretty intense. Maybe that scene pretty grotesque in the sense that they're like, you know what, let's just drop this entire cast. But I want to say what Mary Thomas said. Must have been crazy since they, as in the show, in the entire franchise, since they show some pretty crazy scenes.
Yeah, they do.
Let's see. Robin says they shouldn't have ever casted her, talking about Corinne. She is an embarrassment. So depending on who
what
you
your
talk
opinion
to,
is
what
of
your
her.
opinion is. Carol Olivia Victoria saying, wow, I'm shocked. So some people finding this news out for the first time. Good morning to you, Ida Ortiz. Jackie Logan, one word, Corinne. They know she's a villain.
And you know,
a villain.
It's true.
And a show.
And on her Instagram page this morning too, there are people kind of finding out about the news and then using all the pictures that she has posted as a forum to reach out about this topic. And a lot of people are going as far as talking about Do we call Corinne a bad word, or do we call Demario a bad word? Who is going to look like the worst person here? If we find out that something really bad happened between the two of them, and this happened with Caitlin Bristow's season, when she actually did have sex with Nick Viall to bring him back up again, she was considered an SLUT. And he was considered just another guy. Okay. So she said, why is it different for me? Why am I the person getting characterized this way and he's not? So then I'm curious to see. And yes, and people are using her Instagram to point things out about, you know, defining her character as a result of this, even though we still don't really know what happened. And then other people coming to her defense saying, well, what about Demario's role in all of this? And then the opposite too. Yeah. So the conversation always comes up though that women and men don't always get treated the same in situations that are deemed to be inappropriate.
Sexual, yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's a whole other layer of this conversation.
I know.
I wish Cornelia was here because you know she would go in on Demario. Oh, she would go in on Demario. We'll have her chime in later. We see her pull her away from the vacation for just a little bit.
But she's having a good time. So, yeah, we're looking at your comments though. Thank you guys so much for reaching out and for continuing to post. We'll keep talking about this story even after we get off of Extra Shot. Yes, because it's entertaining.
Exactly. I know some of you were saying, "Who cares? Go into the next topic."
Okay.
I'm still winning these.